Alright, so today I want to talk about my new morning routine. But before I get into what it exactly is, I want to talk about why I'm even doing this. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been running my own business for a little over 4 years now. And for those of you that are entrepreneurs, you'll know, or I'm sure you'll have similar experiences to me, that during the day it can be just a wild ride, ups and downs. Literally within one day alone, there could be a high moment, a low moment, a high moment. It's like it's a fucking roller coaster within a day. But then, I mean, look at just like a week's time, a month's time. I mean, the whole thing is just one big roller coaster. And it really can take a toll on your mental state, your emotional state. And so what I found is that I'm always trying to refine or kind of curb that highs and lows and kind of maintain a more level head. And one way I found to do this quite well is just to put myself in a great state at the start of the day. So sometimes at night, I mean, it could be 10 p.m., you get an email or a call and something wrong happens, right? So then you go to sleep in a bad mood, you wake up not in a great mood, and it messes up your whole next day. Or you wake up, you check an email, and it's something that you're not happy about. Maybe you lost a deal or something bad happened, right? And then now that's in your head throughout the rest of the day. So one thing I found that's very important is to start the day on the right footing and in the right mental and emotional state. And so over time, I've experimented with different morning routines. And for the last 6 months, I just haven't been happy with kind of my morning routine and mental state at the beginning of the day. I've been tweaking it, and I just decided to come up with a completely new routine that borrowed parts of what I've been doing for years and works, and then also some new stuff. And the new stuff was actually heavily influenced by Tony Robbins. Alright, so here's the new morning routine that I'm going to be following. So I'm a very regimented person, or I like to be kind of lay out exactly, all right, here's task 1, 2, 3. Once I figured it out, so then I can just execute without having to think, at least in the morning on my morning routine, right? I don't have to think about it, I've already mapped it out, and then I just need to go and do it. Okay, so here's how it starts. 6 a.m. is when I'll wake up, and right when I wake up, have a glass of water. What I've learned about myself is that I get very dehydrated at night, and just by having a glass of water, I immediately feel better, and it also gives me a good start for the rest of the day to know, okay, let me keep drinking water. So anyways, the first thing I will do is drink a cup of water, okay? Now, right after that, I'll put on swim trunks, because the next step is I'm going to jump into a jacuzzi and then a cold plunge. So this is borrowed from Tony Robbins. He says he's been doing it for 10 plus years, I think, and he says that by jumping in the warm water and the cold water, it wakes you up because it shocks your senses and makes you alert for the day. So I said, fuck it, let me throw this in. One thing that I sometimes struggle with is hitting the snooze button and wanting to sleep in, and if I do this, if I jump in the jacuzzi and the cold plunge, I figure, hey, all right, it's gonna wake me up, or at least it sounds like it will wake me up. So I added that into the mix. At 6:15 a.m. is when I'll do this, and I actually tried it this morning.
That was freaking cold, but I'm awake. Yes.
Just to, before I go on this journey for the next 30 days of trying this every single morning, I wanted to see what I was getting myself into. And I can say, for sure, that it works. Because when you go from warm water to cold water, it's fucking cold. So it wakes you up. So anyways, that's 6:15. It should only be a couple minutes. And then by 6:20 is when I enter into the next kind of phase, which again, this part is borrowed from Tony Robbins, and he calls it priming. He breaks it up into 3 different segments. The first is all about gratitude. And this is one part that I love. It's something that I do personally and have been doing for the last like 6 months. I just haven't specifically done it first thing in the morning. But the idea is to think about things that you're grateful for and do it at the start of the day. So it can be something small, but just 3 different things and think about them for 3 minutes, right? I like how he says this because when you're grateful for something, it's very difficult to also be upset at the same time. And I think that's very interesting, and it's true, at least that I've found. So I'm going to throw that in there. That's the first 3 minutes. And then the next 3 minutes is about prayer, or if you're not, religious, it's more like, consider it like spiritual. The idea being that you're thinking about people around you, whether it's your family, your close friends, partners, or even clients, and just thinking about them and wishing them well, and imagining good for them. And I like that. It's thinking about others instead of just yourself in this moment. And then the next 3 minutes is what he calls 3 minutes to thrive, but it's really around, at least the way I see it, around visualization. This is something that I've actually been doing for years. I would say over the last year or so, I've actually lost sight of doing this, but I think it's very interesting. The idea being that imagine your goals and you actually accomplishing them and succeeding in them, right? And think about goals in 6 to 12, 18 months. It doesn't need to be 5 to 10 years out. It's something that can realistically happen in a year's time, let's say, and actually visualizing it happening. So just to give you an example of something that I've done in the past is that I remember when I was first starting my business, didn't really have money, but I kept visualizing to myself, okay, I want, for whatever reason, I don't know why this was in my head, but I visualized having an apartment in New York City that had all glass windows and was a corner unit, had a gym in the building, a steam room, a sauna, and all that good stuff. And earlier this year, I actually moved into a place that is exactly what I described. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why that happened, but I do think that visualizing it all the time helped me get there. And so I'm glad that he throws that in. He calls it 3 minutes to thrive, but it's all around visualization, and I really believe that if you actually can see something, like it's so real, like it actually is happening, that it will become a reality. So that's at 6:20, and that only lasts a little bit. And then at 6:45 is when I throw in something that I've been doing just for years, and that's a workout. So starting my workout, and over the past year or so, I've honestly just been half-assing my workouts. What I used to do when I was very regimented about it was I would lay out every single day what I would be doing. So Monday, for example, is chest day, Tuesday is back day, etc., etc. Whatever that plan is, be very regimented about it. And even the exercises that I would be doing ahead of time. So then I'm not thinking about it. You're just going to the gym and you're just actually executing on, here's the exercises each day, right? So I'm going to go back to that. It's worked for me in the past. I don't know why I got away from it, but I'm just going to go regimented with it, right? So 6:45 is the gym, and that lasts about 45 minutes. I'm back up to my apartment by about 7:30. From 7:30 to, let's call it the next, a little bit less than an hour, I'm showering, getting ready, eating, all that good stuff, and then by 8:20, out the door is my goal, right? So all in from 6 a.m. to 8:20, it's about a little bit less than 2.5 hours, right? And if I can do this each and every day, and this is something I'm borrowing from Tony Robbins, he's like, if you can just set yourself and you literally do this each and every day, it means that, especially the cold plunge part, right? But if you're doing this and you're forcing yourself to do it, it's resetting yourself so that no matter what you want to do, you're like, okay, if I can do this, then I can go attack the rest of the day. But then I'm also attacking the day in a great mindset. How can you be mad after you've just taken care of yourself for the last couple hours, right? So I'm really excited to try this out. I'm going to give it 30 days and really go at it. And see how it works, and then from there make adjustments and refinements. But with any new morning routine, I like to give it some time. It's not enough to just do it for a day or 2 days and be like, yeah, it's not working, right? I think 30 days is enough for one, for it to actually become part of your actual routine where you just naturally do it and it becomes a habit, and then two, to give it enough time for, to see if it actually works. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll report back in 30 days with my progress. All right.